Hi there, I am Aaron. Welcome to the Cult of Cinema. I did not plan to make a video tonight, but I guess I have to because I got a couple of comments and I got to straighten it out right at the gate because I'm not upset per se, but I'm getting there. Because I thought I actually acknowledged and explained. But we're going to be talking about Vinegar Syndrome and looking at Criterion and all this stuff tonight. But let's do some house cleaning first. And let's dive into it. Why don't we? Anywho, the comments question said that they had some buffering issues with the channel and they wondered if it was just my channel, if there was some reason that my channel specifically had buffering like issues or any glitches. It's a YouTube thing. It's been going on throughout this week. It's not just my channel. Good friend Ryan at Disconnected has also had issues and is aware of it. So I thought right at the gate, before I get another comment on that, before I get one more comment on that, no, it's not me. It's unfortunately a YouTube thing. But at this point where I'm super stressed and trying to do so much with the channel and really trying to make things work really well, it's understandable. People like wonder. This causes especially if one person comments, then another person comments, then it rolls out of control. And when that happens, then that makes it very hard for me. So it's the thing. We're doing the best we can with it. YouTube has some issues. They're working it out. So it's not just on my channel. Please stop. Please watch this video. I hope or if you see somebody that's commenting on it, please, if you notice that comment, please let them know because getting tired of it, man. Getting tired of it. Anyway, there we go. But needless to say, at a time when I'm trying to push my channel forward, it's really stressful. But I truly appreciate you letting me know because I was unaware that was a thing, and I didn't know until until Ryan actually mentioned it in there it is, Elon Musk. We blame Elon Musk for all things, right? But thanks, Disconnected, for letting people know, and it's right on the Twitter thread about it. So if you have any other questions about it, feel free to ask. But there we go. That's what it is. Sorry, guys. I rarely get stressed, but I thought I mentioned it on Twitter, and I thought like, okay, that's done. And then I saw another comment, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to make a video tonight, ain't I? I'm actually gonna have to do a video on this. So there we go. But you know what? My frustration is your gain because we're gonna make a video on the Criterion stuff. Hey there, Matt. Welcome, man. I've had some people mentioning that there's been some buffering, some sputtering, some issues on the channel, and they went as far as to say, "Well, it's just your channel." Well, it's not actually. It's quite a few channels that it was happening with, and it's been a YouTube glitch that's been going on. When they put a comment down there, and I appreciate people letting me know and getting feedback and stuff like that. But when they highlight it as, oh, it's just his channel, and don't take into consideration that there's probably other channels that you don't watch that are having those issues, like Disconnected and some other people, then it looks bad on me. So I got to come here and do this and take the time out of the way for that. That's not what I want to do. I want to come on and actually be super happy, cheerful, Aaron, and I'm going to be. We're gonna have some fun stuff here. Entertainment Help picked up 2 Bava Blu-rays from Kinoflix. That is super cool. It's Warlock. It's just an innocent thing, but it's just Perfect Blue. Alan is one of my favorites. I love that film. You got a really good film here. I had it on VHS back then. I watched it with my dad. Actually, that's one of the animes that I actually watched with my dad. It's a thriller. No, they didn't mean anything by it, Matt. Like they're watchers and stuff, but at the end of the day, it is something that because I did try and mention it, and then somebody came back and said it again. So at that point, I'm like, okay, before things get out of control and spiral and stuff like that, if you're on here, don't worry, I'm not pointing you out or anything like that. I don't have no ill will. I just know that this is something that's happened. It's a YouTubey thing, but I have to let you know. Acrodrome 2 is, but it's a thing, guys. Oh my God. This is my second live video tonight. I did an hour and a half live video on Patreon earlier on today. As some of you guys who were watching know. If not, then we talked about some Patreon stuff, obviously some stuff that we could not talk about in the regular one, those NSFY movies. You know what I'm talking about. You know where that's going. You know where those films that you can't show on your regular channel, right? So we had mentioned a couple of those, and of course I had the choosing the right adult franchise for you video, which has been my most watched Patreon videos since probably since my last since the last sale videos. Mute Witness. Oh God, Mute Witness is so good. I love the cover too, with the with the mouth, like kind of the sewn mouth type thing. For those that have never seen it, Mute Witness is an incredible thriller that I definitely would recommend to anybody. It is so good. It is so well done, and I. It was you. Who was you? You watched? Oh, did you? Did you comment? No, I think you commented on Twitter. Like, and there's a more recent comment. Well, either way, now that it's not a bad thing, because now that it's all straightened away, you got me going live again. So there you go. That's a positive, right? You take the negative, you make it positive, and you go forward with it. Oh no, you mentioned not getting notifications. No, no, there's been an issue with Sean with YouTube. Some people have left. That's people have left already, because they're like, they're not a bit the harsher Aaron, I guess, the one, but they're gonna miss out on the cool stuff. And when we get to the super cool stuff, when I get all naked, no, when we look at the movies. Hey Morgan, well, don't worry, Morgan. You can stay on the channel. I promise you, I will not get naked. I only use that for my OnlyFans account, where people have to pay me not to take off my clothes. But no seriousness. Have I seen the new trailer for Andy Garcia's Father of the Bride? Yes, I did. You know what? I'm not gonna lie, Alan. I do like this type of stuff. I did. I'm a dad, so it got me in, like, as the people would say, it got me in the feels, right? Like have I not killed that phrase right now for like the younger generation? I probably have. But yeah. So it really got me. I'm a dad, and I think about these things, and I have two kids that are grown. I promise not to scare you. I would not do that. I would not be that mean to you, Morgan. We are going to be looking at the Vinegar Syndrome stuff tonight. I'm probably going to get a drink, because I did an hour and a half video before, and this is going to go well. Hopefully, fingers crossed, guys. We'll look at the new Criterion stuff that was announced. I will try and talk to you guys about the Imprint stuff as well, because there is so much great stuff coming out. Spoke with Heath the other day. I think he's got his Ultraman Mebius. I don't have mine yet. That should hopefully be in next week. When I get that, I will be watching as much as I can immediately, and I'll be looking to do a review on that. I will be, for those that don't know, I guess there's a lot of you because I mentioned on Patreon first, I will be going into the world of the Twitch streaming as well. That should hopefully, fingers crossed, be something that I'll be looking at setting up around late next week. There's a reason for that. I kind of looked into something, and because of that, we're going to be able to do some cool little Twitch streaming. So if you use a computer to game, or if you use an Xbox, then those are going to be kind of the go-to if we do some like streaming, and maybe if we get in and play a game together as well. Is Dead by Daylight on a Game Pass? I got to find out. A lot of the 7 are they back in stock now? Oh my god, there are so many good ones. So many that I want. John, Jay, welcome. Final guess for the mystery title: Scared to Death and Voyage of the Rock Aliens. I have to ask you a question, Jay, and this is an important one. They mentioned that because that one of the big things that is going to be a bonus thing that you can win is a 35 millimeter reel of film. We would understand that when the Friday happened and we saw the reveal of the secret titles. Which one of those, Scared to Death or Voyage of the Rock Aliens, has something to do with a film reel or a 35 millimeter film? Severn Hall will be here on Monday. I'm so excited to see it. I wish I had a Severn Hall, but I could not afford it. I really, really wanted to get Nosferatu in Venice because I don't think I'm going to be able to grab the Blu-ray of it anytime in the near future. And I do have the new back. I got the Nosferatu, the original one that came out on Scream Factory, and I really, really liked it. Standard edition primetime panic. You don't think last I'm sure there'll be a standard edition, a slimline edition. They'll look good in your shelf anyway. They're good. There's some good stuff. Buster Keaton rides again is down to 171. That freaked me out. It's not the lowest thing, however. We went through all of them tonight, and the lowest one. What is it again, guys? Does anybody remember? Dustin, you remember? One was down to like 81, and it wasn't something that I thought was going to be down to 81. But one of them is actually down 81. See, me too. That's the thing. I would gladly pick up like a bunch of these DVDs. Like, no, without blinking. If I had the bones to get enough to get free shipping, I would grab myself a stack of 7 DVDs right now, because at the end of the day, it's all about the movies, my friend. I love the 4K format. I love the Blu-ray format. I love the DVD format. I like VHS. I love Laserdisc, and I like the old-fashioned CEDs. I just want to be able to watch a movie. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. That's the I just got asked about it again. Dave, if you're on the channel, kind of spoke disconnected is kind of connected, and that's how you find out, because you being from working on this, you kind of get used to this thing. If you're not here, Dave, then you see this later on. Because I just got asked again, how do you know that it's certain that YouTube caused a glitch? That's the thing. When Severin are putting out releases, and you can tell for their Blu-rays and the DVDs, they're not giving you like they're not just like shoving something on DVD. 9 times out of 10, that DVD is it's the remaster as well. It's just downgraded from Blu-ray to DVD, but it's still a remaster. So you're going to get like really good quality when it comes to that. And I guess just in case I got to respond here, VSA equals action at this point. The only problem, Jay, I'm having right now is VSA has not been equaling action that I'm super excited about. Hey, the New Word Disorder, welcome. That's the killer part. See, I was down with VSAs. I was collecting all the VSAs, Grave Secrets. I'm excited to get the Grave. I kind of want whatever it takes. And then I hit my breaking point. I did. I mean, TC 2000, 3000, whichever it is, TC, whatever. Hey there, Evan. Welcome, man. Yeah, I want more like Spellcaster too. I love me some Spellcaster, man. Hey there, Vince. That movie, Vince, I'm going to tell you right now. I did a Patreon video where I watched the trailers, and that movie I'm guessing it was a musician or whoever did the music for the trailer. They made sure that that was not getting monetized. It was a Patreon video. It wouldn't got monetized anyway because there's no monetization Patreon videos. But they struck hard and they struck fast. They say, trim this trailer out of your video, basically. So I'm like, I'm not going to buy your movie. And that's not true. Well, that's true, but I'm probably going to buy it anyway because it looks really cool. And I don't think it was done by them, so not a big deal. I see. I do enjoy most action, but I'll be honest with you, Morgan. Did you like Fortress of America, whatever? And TC 2000. It's leaning on like some people, like I got a kick out of Dr. Jekyll's Dungeon of Death, right? A lot of people didn't like it. I get it. I really get it. Because if somebody looked at me and said, I didn't like Dr. Jekyll's Dungeon of Death, I'm not going to pull out a pair of swords and say, well, then we'll duel about this one. No, not at all, actually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I'm totally caffeinated right now. Can you tell? Can you tell I'm caffeinated? I'm going to say, yeah, I totally get it. I completely understand you didn't like that film. I just had a good experience with it, but it's not a good movie. But the TC 2000 and the Fortress of America, I feel like we're going to get more of that. I'm worried. I'm worried we're going to get more of that. I got to watch TC 2000 again. I don't own that one, Morgan. So that's to be honest with you. But like I got the Tiger Claws trilogy, and the first one's fairly good, and the other two are okay. I wouldn't say like they're good, but they're okay. But there's the thing. Action is selling for Vinegar Syndrome. So VSA action titles do well. Not everything is going to be a what's the name? That's the stunt one. The stunt that they did. Action USA, right? Not everything can be an Action USA, but I'm guessing more than likely from just a little hint from some of the stuff that we got recently. We had like a certain actor show up in a few of them. I think his name is Jalil or something like that. I'm poor at both names, so I do apologize. So I'm figuring we might get more of his. They may have done a deal with him or with maybe the company that he worked with. So we're going to get more of that stuff. I don't want more of Troma on VSA. I really don't. I mean, their Troma releases have been coming regular through like we've seen a bunch of Troma releases and Troma adjacent releases come out on regular Vinegar Syndrome like titles and coming through the monthly ones. So I dig that, right? But I don't think Troma is and I do love Troma. I love Lloyd, man. I met him. He's a nice guy. That the Troma titles, like, can you imagine if Blades would have been like a freaking like VSA title? Like, no. Like, no, I'm sorry, no. See, Billy Blanks, Roddy Piper, man, I'm down for that. I would buy that. Roddy Piper, fellow Canadian. Some people actually don't, still to this day, Morgan. Some people like think, oh, he must be. He's Scottish. It's Roddy Piper. No, but he's a fellow Canadian. Psycho Cop's a future release. Is that going to be VSA though? Do we know if that's a VSA or not? Because Return to Psycho Cop wasn't, but there was no VSAs around at that period of time. Indiegogo for the restoration. I'm going to put this up here for the Sex of Angela has currently been removed and under review. Not sure what happened there. Maybe there's a rights issue. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, it gets back on track. I hate to see like some people that are probably restoring something and putting a lot of work and effort into it and have it like kind of disappear. Xenon Vincent titles are on your want list. Have Sweet Sweetback. We need all of the Rudy Ray Moore films. That's actually a pretty cool one. So, do we think for sure that Taboo is going to be the box set? There's Taboo. There's what's his name again? It's going to kill me. The guy that did the Penitentiary films. And he did some other films for like that's a possibility too. Like Janka Fanaka. I probably butchered that name. I apologize, but he will probably be on hey, mid-level media, welcome, man, the legend himself. I love your videos, dude. I love your videos. I've told you that so many times before. I want to hit you up with something afterwards. You saw what I did with Heath, so I'm gonna mention that. I'm gonna talk to you about that. What scares you? I think they do a 4K double feature with its sequel, LL Scanners Cop and Scanners The Showdown. I wouldn't mind that. I would love to be a Thriller T. Thanks to Dustin, I got the Thriller 4K coming when I wasn't able to afford it, with 2 other 4Ks. So I would, oh God, Thriller. The color like a T-shirt. That'd be sweet. Carnosaur is not going with Scream. Is it not? I thought they bought all like the Roger Corman time. Didn't he buy the entire Roger Corman library? Like, isn't because Carnosaur, that would be included, wouldn't it? Unless there are some issues like licensing issues outside. Like, remember when like Full Moon didn't have the rights to their flagship characters for a while, and so instead they started doing like the one thing that Full Moon never does, which is like slasher movies and stuff like that. So they worked with Tempe, and they put out things like Bleed and stuff like that, which I really like, but it's super cheesy, but I love it. There's one I want to see. You put that on VSA. I'll watch that one. I'll watch the hell out of that one. Yeah, I would love to get you in for a what scares you video, actually. So I shall contact you on that, and we'll set something up. So, and feel free to contact me because I'm so scatterbrained. Don't let me forget, man. Don't let me forget this. Maybe split. That's the thing. Like, when things get split, it makes it a little bit harder. It makes it a little bit when it comes to that. So I don't know. I mean, like, I want to be excited about the VSAs, but I'm so glad you subbed to it, Jay, because there's a lot of good stuff out there. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff that's coming out from Vinegar. I think Vinegar Syndrome has had probably one of the most solid beginning starts to a year that they've had since the company has started. This is solid. I mean, I thought the beginning of last year was solid. I got a feeling I got a feeling that that this year is going to be like one heck of a solid year for subscribers. Anybody to subscribe, you got a year-long subscription. I mean, unless you're like super upset that they're putting out a lot of MGM releases, which I'm not. I think that's actually fantastic because they're putting them out with extra features, 4K releases. Bam, like all the Death Wish 2s are coming out, the Schizoids, the X-rays, and all that cool stuff. I'm down with that, man. A lot of titles need to say, there's a ton of titles. Every generation, Warlock, as you very much well know, every generation, every time we change the format, there are titles that slip through the cracks. There are titles that don't make it over to the next generation, whether it be an issue of like a rights issue or something got stuck in a format. Hey, they're 918. Welcome, man. Grotesque would be cool. I remember the cover to Grotesque would be freaking cool because that was a cool ass cover, man. It's a bomb cover. Another Jallo set coming out, another homegrown horror set. I don't have the first homegrown horror set. You know what I'm going to be doing? It'll become sale time. My better half is leaving on the Monday after this, like when the sale is ending. So the chance of me getting much through the sale, not likely. See that donation link down below, or it's fantastic. It helps out. It helps the channel. Stop me from begging to my wife. Don't make me lose my dignity. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 4K. I'm so excited to see that come. I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and having it in a 4K edition is really, really good. I 100% appreciate that. Expect, yeah, Jay is 100% right. Expect much more MJ, much more canon, and I am telethon. What is it they used to do? Oh, PBS. Remember those PBS shows? And they'd have like, I was a Doctor Who fan, right? And yeah, for only $75, you can support Doctor Who and keep it on this PBS station. And with the $75 donation, you get a mug, a disappearing TARDIS mug. So you see the TARDIS right now, but once I put hot water in the cup, the TARDIS disappears. There you go, right? That's why I keep every edition holding on special features. There's a key thing. Basement Blues, that's a key thing. When the Entity went over to Blu-ray, and I'm sure a lot of people know this too, that picked it up. When the Entity went over to Blu-ray, there was features that were on the DVD that didn't make it over to the Blu-ray. When Amityville Set came out from Scream Factory, there's a whole disc of like History Channel documentaries that could not like be ported over. So I literally went out and searched for that like Amityville disc. It was called Amityville Confidential with these documentaries on it because I wanted to have it. Back to you, Gold. I love that. Superman 4 I saw in theater, man, with my dad. So that's always going to have a special place in my heart because I watched with my dad, and we didn't get to watch a lot of movies early on. I grew up with my grandparents, so you put good feels in my heart there, Dustin. I really appreciate that. Curse 1 and 2 will be amazing. Trolls 1 and 2. You're gonna put Trolls 1. You got to put that best worst movie in there, right? I do have the Blu-ray edition. I don't know if I'd upgrade Trolls 1 and 2. Now I would upgrade Curse 1 and 2, like 1,000,000%. And yeah, that is true. The Amityville set, tis gone. I mean, like Scream Factory doesn't have the rights to it anymore. There was not a ton of features on that Amityville set. Like the biggest thing for the Amityville set, I got it, is that it had the 3D edition of Amityville 3D. So I would love to have that. Well, that's one entertainment. You gave it to your mother. That is super cool. My condolences. Not sure how long ago it was, but my condolences. And 1,000,000% is like, nobody's truly gone as long as you keep their memory like in here and in here. Who has the rights to the Weinstein Company films? That's a bit scattered around, actually, Alan. There's been some issues with getting certain films like that. Good friend of the channel, Jamie Blanks, he had a movie called Storm Warning, an excellent film. If you ever get a chance to check it out, definitely check it out. It's a really, really good movie. And the head of rights issues stuck because it got stuck on Dimension Extreme, which at the time was a fantastic label. But after all this Weinstein stuff happens, a nightmare for people that had their stuff put on that label. Exterminator 2 would be an amazing one. I love the Robert Ginty, man. I am a Robert Ginty fan. So we're thinking about the same movie, right? Exterminator 2. With the roller skating Mayor Van Peebles. That's the one. I love that movie. It is so cool. You're still sold on Taboo box set? A lot of people would be. So I got to ask this question here right now. We've had a Rudy Ray Moore one, which is the Blaxploitation box set. Would people be down with like because this is Taboo, again, it is an adult film series, right? So is anybody that would not be down with them doing an adult film one? Let Vinegar Syndrome to give us a teenage werewolf, teenage Frankenstein. We're more than likely to get like a teenage, teenage monster, something like that. The teenage werewolf, I was teenage werewolf. That's the one with the guy from the Angel Show, right? So that has had some rights issues. That's the rights issues have been caused as a reason we haven't seen those. Legacy slipcover for Hobgoblin. I'm expecting a lot of Goblins to get a Legacy slipcover. If not this time, which I do think is going to be one this time, but if it doesn't, at the very latest for on the Black Friday one. Have we seen the CGI sequel to Jerry Lewis's Nutty Professor called The Nutty Professor? I saw Michael Landon. Thank you. I totally lost the name in my head there, John. You pick more. There's some cool ones there, Morgan. That's the thing. People think like the adult titles. I'm like, oh well. what we have now. But back in the day, like there was good stories. There was actors, Morgan, Cameron Mitchell, and Ralph Nader. Yeah, Ralph, not and the guy. I'm horrible with names tonight. And the guy from Salem's Lot, the vampire from Salem's Lot, are in an adult film that Vinegar Syndrome has. It's called Dixie Ray, Hollywood Star. So it's actually a film noir, adult film. 1780s, it definitely is the best. Do you have that, Warlock? Thanks. Scream Factory doing Curse should have been the breakthrough to Blu-rays release of From Dusk to Dawn. The others, give them time, actually. It's still early on. Scream Factory, I think they've been putting out so much, but now they're putting out a lot of like steelbook stuff and they're double dipping on certain things. So maybe they've had to pull back a bit because you can only go full tilt all the way through so far with so much and just stretch it out. So before you got to kind of rein it in a bit and realize where your focus is going to be. And that is the killer part when you will run any kind of company. That especially if something starts to get successful, you got to look around and see, okay, I'm doing this, and this, but what's really bringing in the actual revenue, and then you kind of like rein it in and kind of focus a bit on that. Reining in and focusing, something I can't do very well. And it concerns me when I hear like Scream Factory is a king reel. That does, it's a true fact, Jay. You're saying, but it concerns me. It concerns me for the company. I'm sure they do fine. Think Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls will ever get? Yes, I do. Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls is probably one of their biggest like releases. And I think at another time, in an earlier time in their period, like the period in their company, Warlock, I think Scream Factory would have definitely gone that direction. I don't think so right now. Hey there, Anton. Welcome, man. But Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls is probably, it's Bob Chin directed. It's very humorous. You can actually take with the adult scenes and have a kind of a funny, cheesy 70s era, like silly comedy. I think that definitely has the ability to get an upgrade. Now, that being said, it depends, guys, on the things. Are the elements there for that? Do they have the OCN for it? Because some of these are on DVD initially for a reason. Now, I have a Blu-ray edition of Hot and Saucy because basically 5 years, 5 films, those 4 volumes came out, and I grabbed those up right away because I knew they weren't going to last. And there's some of my favorite things that I have coming. I know. Yeah, guys, so it looks like a Ray Dennis Steckler box set is coming from Severin. So for those that don't know, Ray Dennis Steckler is a maker of films. So Jay, because I know some of you guys don't know Ray Dennis Steckler, and films like The Incredibly Strange Creatures That Stop Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies. I'm not joking. That's an actual film title. Would you consider Steckler in the director hierarchy above or below and Milligan? So for people that don't know Ray Dennis Steckler and they're wondering, should they pick it up? Would you and they got the Milligan set and they weren't so sold after they got it. Would you consider him like a step above or a step below Milligan? Because for some people, that is going to be the selling or non-selling point. See, I think what Jay thinks, but I'm a bit biased in the fact that maybe I've not seen enough of Ray Dennis Steckler stuff, but what I've seen, it's long. Like one thing, Al Adamson, whether you like all Al Adamson's movies or not, by far and large, they're entertaining, right? They're fun films. But Milligan, you're like, okay, we're gonna go in. We're gonna watch Milligan again, and and it's not like I think Master Chaos was one of the people. He did a Milligan, didn't he? Do the Milligan review? And I could see that wearing on him a bit. Like I could tell, man. So it's gonna be interesting. Joe Bob commentary is the best way to watch that, man. Ultimate Emmanuel, well said, Jay. I think I would expect that to come on Black Friday. I expect that for the Black Friday sale. And here's the reason why. Because, like I said last year, before they announced the fact that they had found more films and they had more stuff to work on, it's the Black Emmanuel set. That's like literally the name of the series. What better time than Black Friday? Fan of sexploitation movies? I am very much so. Like some others on here too. But is there a difference between sexploitation movies, erotic movies, or 2000s teen sex comedies? Oh yes. I mean, like when I think of like the erotic films, there's like different categories that you go into. So Fallen, you're looking at stuff like there's the erotic thrillers, like they're stuff that you're going to see a lot of Andrew Stevens directing or acting in. And those come along the lines of like a body chemistry or night eyes or something similar to that. And then you got the ones like the Tim McClure stuff, like the Friend of the Family. They're not really erotic thrillers per se, uh, but they have the eroticism in it to kind of tell a story. A lot of them go into the thriller vein. Teen sex comedies, by far and large, tend to be way less. They're tame because the even though they're going to put a little bit of nudity or stuff in there as innuendo, it is at the end of the day, it's going to be like aimed towards that teen audience. So they are not going to pull it so far ahead that they're going to alienate like the largest portion of their audience that are going to watch these films. Um, so like so hopefully that kind of helps out a little bit anyway. I hope that makes sense. What about Stecker? Oh, yes, I have that actually. Incredibly Strange Film Show episode with him on it. It's what sold you on him nearly 30 years ago. It's on YouTube. I'm gonna check that out because I know mine is packed somewhere because I got it in DVD somewhere. 90s era Fred Olen Ray, like Inner Sanctum. I remember that actually. No, I would kill to get the Night Eyes series on well, not literally kill, maybe injure. To get the Night Eyes series on and the Body Chemistry series on Blu-ray or 4K. The fact that like Vinegar Syndrome hasn't done the most obvious thing by releasing those, like it has to be like a rights issue of some sort, because I cannot imagine that Vinegar Syndrome has looked at like movies like the Night Eyes series and that. Yeah, we don't need to put that out because literally, it is earmarked for Vinegar Syndrome. It is literally, if I thought like of the perfect box set for Vinegar Syndrome, like Body Chemistry, Night Eyes, those you got Carrie Wurst stuff like Shannon Tweed. There's a lot of really good stuff, and people like kind of dismiss some of this stuff because because there's nudity in it or because of the acting is not always like super fantastic. But then again, there's stuff like the early stuff that Shannon Tweed did, like The Surrogate, which I think was one of her first. It's extremely well done, and I think that Shannon Tweed is underrated actually when it comes to that. And that being said, Friend of the Family series, Friend of the Family series is more of like I wouldn't. Those are the ones that I went in like Warlock thinking they were going to be thrillers, but instead, what I got were like these stories that were almost like sexy like dramas. And I was like, yeah, I like that. But yeah, like, if it was me, if I was working for Scream, if I was working for any like company like that does films, if I was working for any boutique label, uh, first thing I would do is like I would look at that type of film. I'm really surprised. Another company that I think might do it is 88 Films. I would like if 88 Films came out tomorrow and said, "Oh, by the way, we're putting out Night Night Eyes or Body Chemistry." I'd be like, you know what? Makes total sense. I can totally see 80 Films doing it. Someone please release the Granny from the Granny was cool. Actually, I like the Granny. So yeah, I agree with you, man. Ilsa, yes, because Ilsa had a great DVD set back in the day, which I did not get because because I was poor at the time, to be honest with you. And when I say poor, not this poor, I mean like way poor. Because here's the thing, like if I ever have a boutique label, it almost happened, guys. By the way, back in the VHS days, uh, I'm not sure if Sean's still here or not, but Sean has met me in person because he is actually from my hometown. But I used to actually sell movies at the flea market, and at that time period, I was actually kind of trying to acquire certain films, and I found out that some films actually had had the rights that were wide open, and I'm like, this would be a great time to have like a label that just deals with these kind of like these crazy like insane films that I love. And I think I mentioned to a couple people, and they're like, "No, nobody would buy that stuff." Well, yeah, and now it's the future. Now it's the future of keeping physical media alive. The crazy stuff that I love is the future of keeping physical media alive. Who would have thought, right? Working some extra shifts just for the severance sale. I wish I at this point I kind of wish I could do the same, but unfortunately, when I say I'm working an extra shift, I'm right here. This is it. This is me. This is my extra shift. Um, Granny plus Rejuvenator and Born to be double feature. Actually, be a good double feature. Hey, Darren, welcome, man. You're still great. I like Britain. I love me. The UK. London, still my favorite place in the world to visit, man. Love me some FOP. And you still have HMV, which is because Canada, but we work so well together, don't we? Canada and Britain. Future Kill should be released with Scared to Death. Do you think it could be? Um, it's possible. I mean, Future Kill, it's the same director. I wouldn't surprise, but they don't have it listed as a double feature. So I'm not quite sure. That's the thing. That's the killer part of it, right? Yeah. That's why when Dennis Waterman passed, I was so hurt because I grew up watching Minder and thought, oh man, that's a really interesting show, but it must suck to be like Minder and have your have a kind of a rougher life like that. And then I grew up, and yeah, I could sing that song, man. It was one of my favorite shows. I liked him in Sweeney too, but Minder was actually that was king. Him and George Cole. For those that have never seen the series Minder, definitely check it out. It's one of those different shows that kind of can be different thing from week to week, but it did have a nice sense of humor to it. It could be an action show, it could be drama, it could be comedy, it could be a bit of a detective aspect to it. Not every show can do that, but Minder could do that very well. You got the see there, and as soon as I said Minder, you're gonna have the song stuck in your head all night. Stella Stevens. Let's just see something here. So, by the way, I'm looking at the Imprint page, and what's killing me is here I am checking out the Imprint page before I put it up, and they've already announced the new titles that are coming out, but I cannot find them on their page. Let's try search. Let's go with film noir. Hmm, maybe find it that way. I'm gonna have a song stuck in my head. All right, let's look at a couple of the Imprint titles. We talk more about the sale, and I'll actually look at some of the Vinegar Syndrome stuff as well, and we'll talk a bit more about the Severance stuff. Uh, Kathleen Kenmont, Halloween 4. I always wondered why in Halloween 4, uh, one, that's Kathleen Kenmont, and two, there was that sequence. Uh, and was there like a no nudity clause for that film? Because it does, I know it doesn't have to be, but it kind of seemed like a scene that that probably was initially what was gonna be. And you got the name right, by the way. Boo. All right, so let us dive in for a second at what one of the big announcements that came out, and this is the Essential Film Noir Volume 3 from Imprint, number 148 to 151, coming out on August the 31st of 2022. Price right now is on sale for 119.95 Australian or 139.95 once the pre-order price is gone. A limited 4 disc hardbox edition with unique artwork on the first 1,000 copies. If you don't get it within the first 1,000 copies, I guess you don't get the hard disc. Maybe you got a slimline. Hey there, Matt. Maddie, have a fantastic day, man. Thank you so much for coming in. Our state centers are passing a house on the edge. Yes, that deserves an uncut. It's such a cool film, Darren. I actually really like that film. Sam Deegan got me really interested in those Cat 3 films. Yeah, that actually would be. That would be better than Ebola, man. The best part of Ebola Syndrome is Sam Deegan's commentary. I'm not gonna lie. Like that was not up my alley. That movie wasn't. But did she get me interested in wanting to see other ones? Hell yes, she did. That's the reason I kept Ebola Syndrome actually, and it's still in my collection when I didn't think it was going to be, just because of Sam Deegan's commentary. That's how good she is. I don't like the movie, but I keep because of her commentary. So we got The Strange Love of Martha Ivers with a bunch of features on here. We got a new audio commentary by noir expert and Film Noir Foundation board member Alan K. Rode. We have Barbara Stanwyck, Straight Down the Line, a 50-minute documentary, probably one of those biography documentaries that you did. Introduction with Kurt Russell and Alan Rode. New video essay on Barbara Stanwyck by Kat Ellinger, which you know is going to be fantastic. New video interview on Barbara Stanwyck by Alan Rode. Next up is No Man of Her Own. We get a commentary with film historian Drew Katzberg, No Man on Her Own, the Screen Directors Playhouse radio drama. I love myself some of these. With Barbara Stanwyck and Lyle Betcher, we have a new interview with writer, broadcaster, and journalism Barry Forshaw. New video essay on Mitchell Leeson by Kat Ellinger. We come to The Turning Point, which has a new audio commentary by Alan K. Rode, with a new interview by Barry Forshaw. Come down to Desperate Hours, which probably is my favorite out of all these, but these are 4 great films. New audio commentary by Kevin Lyons. New interview by Barry Forshaw. I was actually kind of disappointed that Kat Ellinger didn't have anything to say about Desperate Hours, because I'd be really interested to see what she would have to say about that. So I'll go back to Imprint Films right now. Am I going to find myself those titles? No, I'm not. Yeah. So I am sort by latest. Are the When does this one come out? When is this one coming out? It's out right now. It's not okay. Ooh, there we go. The World of Susie Wong, coming out August 31st of 2022. We got another commentary by film historian Lee Pfeiffer and Paul Scribo. New video essay on the latest fashion influences by cinema fashion historian Elisa Rose. See, I love that type of stuff. To Whom It May Concern, Kei Shen's Journey, Brian Jameson's feature documentary on the life journey of Asian star Nancy Kwan. Nancy Kwan. Oh, Walking the Edge, right? The Fun City editions. That was such a good movie. We got Storm Center right here coming out in August. Betty Davis. I love some Betty Davis. Commentary by Jason A. Ney. Hollywood on Trial feature documentary narrated by John Huston. The Hollywood 10, that's going to be really interesting. That type of stuff I like. Oh, well, yeah, no, it's for me. My thoughts. Uh, we also have here, marrying Doc is my one chance. Don't kiss it away from me, Harry. Please, please, please. We have here Secret of the Incas. We have a new audio commentary by film historian Philippa Berry. New interview with Chris Poggiali on the influence of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Lux Radio Theater version of Secret of the Incas with Charlton Heston and Nicole Murray. And we have here, come on. I Am the Law. They're gorgeous, aren't they? I don't have one in my collection basement because they're super expensive. Hopefully one day. But they're gorgeous. What gorgeous. If you've never seen um both Brian Sauer and Heath, so Just the Disc and Serial at Midnight, they both show off the imprint titles on their video on their channels, and oh my god, they are beautiful to behold. Audio commentary with professor and film scholar Jason A. Nay. This one is I'm the Law with Edward G. Robinson. They're pricey, but I'm sure Basement Blues will be the first person to tell you they're worth it. Really? I gotta check that. Hey, Michael, man. They bundle with that. Yo, man. I gotta get me some richness. I gotta get me some money. That's it. Michael, I'm setting up that reverse OnlyFans account. That's what I'm doing. That reverse OnlyFans account. The Scarlet Hour with our did did my Canadian accent just like pour through right there? See, one thing you're going to notice when you watch my channel enough, and please watch my channel and hit that like button. I really appreciate that, by the way. Is that Canadians tend to drop their H's. So rather than hour, we'll say hour really quickly. And because we say everything quickly because we're Canadian. But yeah, that's one of the things. That's a key thing. If you really want to like catch a Canadian accent, don't expect everybody to say where's like a and stuff like that because we don't. But when it comes to like dropping the H or adding adding a letter onto it, yeah, we do that all the time. So keep an eye for that. Warlock, man, exactly. Warlock's from Canada. Knows what I'm talking about. Some box sets. Are they I'm guessing they're really pricey, right? I got to keep an eye for that. Ever win me a lottery? And of course, Essential Film Noir Volume 3, which we have already seen. Coming up from Criterion. The August releases for Criterion are here. We got Faya Day. Again, guys, me, English, barely know English. So let alone my better half. She knows 4 languages. I barely know English. Packaging is always secondary, actually. Do you drop the T? I used to get really like some people Newfoundland, right? So when I was younger, I would like I was very subconscious about like my accent. So a little thing, guys. If you've ever like seen a and you have, trust me, Canadian, especially like a Canadian, like the acting and actor back in the day, you like people like Lauren Green. Lauren Green's Canadian, by the way. He was the voice of the war actually, on Canadian radio, and guys like William Shatner. A lot of the reason that their voice is the way that they are is either they got like kind of booming projecting voice, or they have a certain type of speech that they use all the time. That is basically as we're going through, we're very self-conscious uh, of how we sound, and it's something that you want to go across to when you're acting, when you're on stage, you want to be as universal as possible, and sometimes it comes out like that. We got Buck and the Preacher with Sidney Poitier and Harry Belafonte. That's a really cool one. Hotel de Nord. We have Frownland, Daddy Long. I like Daddy Longlegs actually. So that's what I'm thinking about. Um, so are there? Is there anything here? I mean, Buck the Preacher probably is the most exciting one for me right here. Just because I really love Sidney Poitier. But what do you guys think? Seems so quiet now. All thoughts are appreciated. This is now my ASMR video. Okay, here we go. Let's dive into the features on these things here. Let's see what they are. This one here, Faya Day, I have not seen. I'm not going to lie to you. Feature by Mexican Ethiopian filmmaker Jessica Bashir. A hypnotic drama. Oh, a documentary. I love documentaries. Immersion in the world of Ethiopians, Oromo, and I really apologize for Frownland because relatable. Have you actually seen Frownland, or you just love the title, man? So this, I would watch this. I'm a huge documentary fan. I'm a whore for documentaries. I really, really am. Short films on her as well. Hugh Dances on Wood, Heroin, and Heret. I'll just say 30% off until May 31st. Buck the Preacher. These features on here. Let's take. I want to check what Frownland is. I have no idea. I'm not going to lie to you. I have no idea what this is. A nightmare transmission from the grungy steps of the New York indie underground. The visceral, darkly funny, and totally sui generis debut feature from Ronald Bronstein is a dread-inducing vision of misfit alienation at its unhinged extreme. In a maniacal performance of almost frightening commitment, Doorman plays Keith, a disturbingly maladjusted social outcast and self-described troll whose neuroses plunge him into an unstoppable spiral of self-obliteration as his crummy coupon-selling job, pitiful living situation. Sounds like every troll I've ever heard of, featuring the roommate from hipster Brooklyn hell and last remaining human relationships disintegrate around him, as captured in grimy, expressionist grain of Sean Prince Williams' claustrophobic camera work. Frownland is do-it-yourself cinema at its most fearless, uncompromising, and unforgettable. Oh no, it's never. Nothing's off topic, man. I do have a favorite Woody Allen movie. I like to call them Mia Farrow movies. Okay. You're not gonna be impressed by it. There's the was it the things you were afraid to ask was Sleeper. I really like Sleeper, and I'm not gonna lie, I like Manhattan or Dan Keaton movies. There you go, Dan Keaton. That's what I meant to say. That's what I meant to say. Sorry, entertainment. It's been a long night. This is my second live video, and I don't know how many hours. So, yeah. So you think Alex Criterion titles will prove rewarding? June and July had big names that were due for some deep cuts. I actually agree with that. Like you and Michael, I think are on the same wavelength when it comes to this. Like this here, this knew nothing about this. Have not seen this movie. Does it interest me? Yeah, it does actually. And that's the nice thing about Criterion is that they will have a lot of big stuff, right? They'll have big stuff. They're going to have their cool stuff. They're going to have their Raging Bulls. They're going to have their Devil in the Blue Dress. They're going to have their Virgin Suicides. Those are titles that are they are they're going to make people excited. They're going to make people say, "Oh, I want to get those titles." But for me, what Criterion really is, what Criterion has always been for me, is not about the Raging Bulls. It's not about the Virgin Suicides. It's about those titles that I don't know. That's the ones that they open me up to. Their world cinema stuff, the stuff like Foundland, which I don't know. The stuff that I probably would never have gotten, but because they put Criterion's name in it, I picked it up. Ended up liking it and became like a new favorite, or at least something that I learned from. And I'm sure Michael. I'm not sure if Michael can learn anymore. He's already the filmmaker. He's you know extraordinaire, right? Um, but uh, but me, every day, every day. I'm 51. I'm still learning when it comes to cinema, learning on a daily freaking basis. Daddy long legs. Let's read. Oh, no. Reminding the emotional sense memories of their own fractured childhoods, Josh and Benny Safdie craft a by turns emphatic and disquieting portrait of parental dysfunction, poised between fierce love and terrifying irresponsibility. Manic Manhattan movie theater projectionist Lenny is perhaps the last person who should be raising kids, yet here he is, trying and failing to keep together as his life unravels over the 2 whirlwind weeks that he has custody of his young boys. With an impromptu road trip, a sleeping pill mishap, and a night in jail, all part of the chaos, Verite New York's naturalism gives way to flights of surreal lyricism in Daddy Longlegs, a blearily impressionistic anti fairy tale that finds unexpected humanity in the seemingly most irredeemable of fathers. There you go. What do you think, guys? See, there you go. Yeah, Darren, something's going on right now with I mentioned at the beginning of the video because people said, "Well, is it your channel?" No, it's like there's a YouTube thing that's going on. It's affecting a lot of channels, unfortunately. But it's something to that I've had to mention because I just got too many comments about it. So I say, it seems to be worked out, but it looks like they're still working on it. Didn't get the regular Blu-ray for Virgin Suicides. Do not like the movie. Do not like the movie in your 20s. The movie focuses too much on the boys who fetishize them. I understand that, actually. I think it's a brilliant film, though. I really do. Just the way that was done. I would give another chance to entertainment. And if you don't like it, that's okay, man. Everybody don't have to like everything. At the end of the day, we don't. That's a cool thing. Oh, there's a Keenan Lorber, like, couple titles that I did want to point out. Specifically one in particular. This one right here. Because everybody needs this. I need this, actually. So this is a movie called Times Square, directed by Alan Moyle. It has a fantastic cast, and it has a fantastic soundtrack on it. It is definitely a slice of the time, but it is really good. We got Tim Curry, Trina Alvarado, Robin Johnson, Peter Caulfield, David Margolis, Anna Marie Horsford, and Herbert Burjoff in here all together. Basically, and I'll do this again for this one, rich girl Pammy, is the sheltered daughter of a prominent politician, while child Nikki is a tough runaway. Together, the two teens escape from a psychiatric hospital with the help of a radio DJ, Johnny LaGuardia, played by Tim Curry, become punk rock heroes on the streets of New York City. But as their outrageous new life begins to come together, they find that society wants to tear them apart. Can a sister that runs soul deep survive the cold heart of the city? Produced by Robert Stigwood, the guy that brought you Saturday Night Fever in Greece, and directed by Alan Moyle, who did Pump Up the Volume, one of my favorite films, and Empire Records, which is another classic, featuring an amazing soundtrack of hits from Patti Smith, The Cure, Lou Reed, The Ramones, one of my favorite groups back in the day, The Pretenders, Roxy Music, Robin Gibb, Gary Newman, Susie Quattro, Talking Heads, Joe Jackson, XTC, and more. Hey, Dag, welcome, man. Did we actually, though, in the 80s want to shock everyone? Better than last. I mean, like in the 70s, I could see it. The 80s, we were kind of like just hung up on like the shiniest stuff, right? we were pretty surface, like, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, I born in the 70s, raised in the 80s. 80s is my decade. I love it more than anything else in the world. But I think we were kind of the opposite of like really going into all the shock. Maybe that like era of like that of film, that style of film. But the 80s, it was a lot of flash and style and substance. Definitely worth checking out, Warlock. I think you might like it. I get that. I can really understand. Like when you said you didn't get Empire Records, I get it. I understand that completely. But for me, it truly was like I love that film. I'm a huge Maxwell Caulfield fan, entertainment. So just put that out there right now. I was born in 1971, Dag, so I am actually 51 as of March the 31st. That was when my birthday was. Cover definitely reminds you of square pegs, because it has that 80s like era feel. That how do we do this? Oh my God, type of thing to it. You know what I mean? Like gag me. For those that don't know, I grew up in the whole like Valley era of the 80s, and I lived in an area at the time where I was surrounded by the whole Valley Girl thing. So that was like that's okay. You have good taste. I'm gonna say that you have good taste. Entertainment doesn't matter. You have great taste. I was looking earlier today at Vinegar Syndrome. Well, earlier tonight when I did my Patreon. One thing that I noticed here in the partner labels, that the limited edition partner labels are like lower than in stock than a lot of the other ones. One of these here. Which one was it? Let me find it here for you guys. Unlimited edition. So right on all that stuff. Sure. Okay. Next one's Game Survival. There's Mother Smuckers. I don't even know if I look at Mother Smuckers. Right here. So they look like people. If you're interested in this one's by Yellow Veil. There's only 75 copies left. When I came on earlier on tonight, when I did my Patreon video earlier on this afternoon, there was 81 copies. So 6 copies have sold. If this is a movie that you're interested in, it's probably not going to make it to the sale. Big 2010s Japanese cinema fan and Asian movie enthusiast. Did you watch like Asian movie enthusiast channel? Asian movie enthusiast, you did. Okay, I got it right. So I'm waiting for Drive My Car 2021 to come in. Nice. Don't recommend it. 78 that started the stream. It is. It's a FOMO mic. It is a FOMO mic. Nobody call you Mike. Did Michael? Did you call you Mike? Anybody call you Mike? So yeah. So what's this? That's not 1,000. Most of these, like, that's the thing here. Most of these partner labels got smaller runs, man. But certain like partner label titles, well, hit anything. I'll put it to you right now. Anything from Fun City Editions, high probability it's going to sell out. Like when you see Fun City Editions hitting like the hundreds to 200s, that type of thing, like during the sale, that's going to go during the sale. So if there's Fun City Editions that are on sale, if like the Rancho Deluxe, which is down in the 200s, yeah, I expect that to go during the sale. Like that's going to go during the sale, like pretty sure. But Fun City Editions has garnered a name at this point. He started out like as a company that did like some super cool stuff, that like put a lot of work into the stuff that they put out. But with that being said, with all the stuff that they put out, like they've just gotten better and better, and the quality has been has been amazing. So they're a company when it comes to these partner labels. They're a company to watch. Utopia is like another one. Like you watch Utopia stuff. Shiva Baby still last year. Shiva Baby film, one of my top films last year. Love the hell of Shiva Baby, and not just because, oh my God, look at her, she is gorgeous, but the film is so good. It is so well done, and the concept to take like a dramedy, a comedy drama, like a dramedy, and do a portion of it and shoot like a horror film is freaking brilliant. Actually, to take, okay, we're going to do an anxiety. We're going to do like an anxiety attack sequence in Shiva Baby, and it's going to be comedic, but we're going to shoot it like a horror film so that you get that like sense. of if you feel it. And that sequence is in that film. I love the film overall, but that sequence in that film makes me excited when to discover and watch new films and see like what's done, what people do, and what they bring out when it comes to filmmaking, what they go with, what new and innovative things that you can do. And film's been going around since like what seems like forever. So it's like remaking that wheel over and over again, right? But to see like, okay, there's still some new tricks, there's still some different stuff that you can do, and then that you can pull out to just make it stand out, to make things look different, and it blew my mind. So there you go. That's my thoughts on that. We're gonna have a few of the regular vinegar shrimp stuff that will sell out, definitely. Keep an eye on the VSAs. Let's take a quick look at these. I love Agent 73, man. Darren, I'm down with you. I have to eventually get a Doris Wishman set. If for I like Doris Wishman stuff, but if nothing else, I love me some Jesse Morgan. I do. Okay, there's not a ton of new releases here, so I'd say I think House of Usher is sold out. Yeah, so we're starting right up here with Grave Secrets. You're not the first person, man, Michael, that to really talk about Scary 61st, because that is supposed to be an excellent film. I actually want to watch that. It's on Shutter, I think, right? Because I do want to pick that up. That's one that I do want to pick up. I won't be able to get it now. For those that don't know, I'm legally married now. That's a thing, as of yesterday. So yeah, that's. I'm stoked about that. I'm excited about that today. And there's the thing, right? There's movies that people love, but they understand, man, that when you watch, you're like, okay, I like this movie, but I get why somebody else is not gonna like this movie. and when you get to that point in watching as well, because there's still like that whole tribalism stuff, which drives me up the wall, right? Like I like Marvel movies, I like DC movies. Well, you can like both, you can like neither, and that's cool, man. Like I got like a lot of movies, like a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, I don't like that film," and it's not a personal affront to me, but and that's the thing. Once something clicks with you, man, it clicks with you. It sticks. That's the kind of good stuff you want to have when you're watching movies. That is the kind of goodness that you want going through. Oh man, that's a movie that sticks with me. That's a movie that stands. Grave Secrets, your last VSA purchase, 335. Jay, this, yeah, and I can, dude, it can't be your last VSA purchase, because do you have Alley Cat yet? I'm putting it out there, man. You got to get yourself Alley Cat. This is actually good. This is actually a decent film. This is when they're into like the better era of the action stuff. I have not seen Whatever It Takes. I don't know. This may be fantastic. I like Don Dragon Wilson. I remember he did a movie with Cynthia. He did a few movies. A couple movies with Cynthia Rothrock, but he did one with it was not a good film. It's like virtual reality type thing, and that's what makes me nervous here. The Grave, I'm interested in. I got Tiger Claws. Morgan has sold me a bit on TC 2000, so I might pick it up. She said, you got to, this is a good film. This is a watchable film. This is where I'm ready to stop. So I know there's a lot of people that love this film. I know it's got its fan base, and I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying this. I don't think it should have been a VSA. I think it should have been a regular release. I don't think VSA was like the place for Fortress of America. Death Row Game Show. I hope so, Jay, because I'm not gonna lie. Death Row Game Show is not bad. Like, it's not a bad film. I think more people should see it, and the only way more people are going to see it right now, because people are not going to dive. Most people right now, Jay, unfortunately, unless they've been doing this for a while and they're just wanting to get everything. When they look at the stuff, they're looking at the new stuff. They're looking at the slips. They're looking at the brand new stuff that came out. And after a while, they'll go back and look at some of the older stuff. But Death Row Game Show is, just the way it is. I don't think it's going to win any new people over to watching it. But it's a cool little film. I actually really enjoyed it. And I think a nice for Lexi Slips are really good for shining the light on films that maybe they've been around for a while and people aren't buying them anymore, or they're not giving them a chance. Lexi Slips was one of the best ideas that Vinegar Syndrome ever thought of. Yeah, House of Usher went at maybe it'll get a standard entertainment. You never know, because they do. Some of these said they make it standards, right? But yeah, I was asked up there, am I okay with not continuing collecting VSAs? At this point, I think so. Like, we'll see, man. Uh, oh yes, adult television slipcovers. That's the thing. That's why, Jay. When you said that you think that the box set is going to be taboo, I can totally see that, man. Uh, because one, it's three films, like four films really, but three, one and then two and three done together, and there's number four. And it's a series of films that I think, like, storyline wise, it's a it just blows my mind that it's a franchise that is an adult franchise that has an arc. That's the killer part. It has an arc. The Seventh Curse. Actually, no, I actually haven't ordered anything with 88 films in a while. Though, thanks to Dustin, I got this here cool one. I got this one from Dustin, and a week before, I got the Species set from George. So I got some actually cool 80 films. Goodness, yeah, it'd be cool. I mean, like, Taboo is a cool series. It is. I saw it way. So, young Aaron, here you go. When some of my friends would be like, let's, it's the 80s. Like, hey, let's rent an adult film. We're not old enough. And so, because young Aaron had no fear, I just went. I'd go into the back where the thing. I would just walk right in, pick up an adult film. When I first did it, like, my heart was like, bum, 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 oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, police are gonna come. Um, but and then I go and I bring it up to the counter and they just get it from me. They say, okay, sure. Yeah, they got Corruption to Lexi Slip. I haven't seen the Anacondas. I gotten a chance to. I would like to say I gotten a chance to watch a lot of stuff, but I haven't, because I this and the fact that my better half's getting ready to go to Morocco to see her family, to go to a wedding. That's the fact that I got married last night. Those things kind of that took a bit of time. Those things took time. Uh, Fingers crossed one day Vinegar Syndrome unleashes Cafe Flesh and Night Dreams. Actually, good ideas for releases. Is Wolfpack any good? Anybody know if Wolfpack's any good? I don't have this one. I'm pretty sure. Have I seen this? I feel like I have. 1987. That's like right up my alley. Like, that's my key time for watching. I don't remember, man, but I know I've seen it. I would skip Grizzly too, unless, like, you're with some friends and you're having drinks or whatever you do, um, and that's the way to go. Finish someone's race to cafe. They're just waiting for better elements. I'm guessing that's probably part of the reason we haven't seen, like, that secret movie on corruption gets on release. All right. I did get one little thing today. I showed it before. I'll show it on here because some people were unaware this was a thing. And I'll do that before I go and before I totally lose my voice. But I managed to get this for really cheap today. So for those that are unaware, thank you, Darren. I really appreciate that, man. I'll let her know. This is the TV series War of the Worlds. It was done from 1988 to 1990. It stars Jared Martin, who's probably best known as Dusty Farlow on Dallas. This is a really cool series. And Warlock knows it. He's Canadian. He knows the stuff. And this is an actual sequel to the original 1950s film. Yeah, that's back in the day they did that. This series was an actual sequel to the 1950s film with the actress from the 1950s film in several episodes of War of the Worlds. It ran for 2 seasons. It completely changed format in the second season. Even cast members, including adding a young Adrian Paul that would go on to be in Highlander, the series, and eventually would go on to be in a Highlander film with Christopher Lambert. But this was a really, really good show, and I managed to get this for an extremely cheap price today, so I'm very stoked on that. It has around 43, something like that, episodes altogether, 11 discs, and something I had to pick up. So if you were unaware of War of the Worlds, definitely worth checking out. Like it does not happen so often, like Space Knight 99. It's like first season, super, super intense. Like second season, seems like it's like often nowadays, like seems like the second season is where you find your legs. It seemed like earlier on in shows like the jump the gun. The second season is where you lose your footing a bit. If they were lucky enough to give you a third season, you were key. You went on. You're awesome. But shows like War of the Worlds and Space 1999, unfortunately, did not get that chance to get that third season to really kind of like steady the mass pretty much. But I love the cover, by the way. I think that looks gorgeous. And one thing I will say, the very first time that I watched this was when it premiered on TV. And when it did, there was a black and white sequence where they showed actually clips from the original film. Now, after that original premiering of it, was never shown again. And I'm guessing it was probably because of the fact that that there was like rights issues and it'll cost a lot to get it put in there. So unfortunately, the black and white like opening sequence isn't on that disc, but it is what it is. I want to thank Mike for the donation, man. Shout out to Mike. I really appreciate that. I will consider that a wedding gift. Thank you very much. How many discs are in the set? Well, Warlock, there are 11 discs in total in the set, and it is the complete series. As far as I know, it is uncut except for that first episode with the black and white that unfortunately we rights issues couldn't put that in there. But definitely if you find it, I got it for like an under 10 or so. Super cool on that. I learned that there's a difference between digital films and analog films, film stock movies. Some prefer analog. They started in 2005 in mainstream movies. Have I noticed the difference? I am an analog person. I love film. A lot of movies nowadays, I like the majority fallen are shot with digital cameras. It makes it cheaper, makes it easier for a lot of people to work with things and to do a lot of stuff that they probably couldn't do before. I prefer the analog style of filmmaking. I'm in the Quentin Tarantino, Christopher Nolan camp when it comes to that. And I would agree with entertainment saying that horror definitely seems better in analog because it has that raw, gritty feel to it. Do I know there's a new British? Actually, I do. I haven't seen it though. It's been on CBC television, but I never watched it yet. So the final episode recording VHS with commercials. Joe, that is baller, man. That is awesome. Okay, my name's Aaron. Thank you for joining me tonight here in the Cult of Cinema. I almost forgot the name. That's how crazy my night has been. I apologize if it seemed a little off kilter at the beginning, but I had to get things straightened out because I kept getting comments about the whole like, okay, this is glitching out. It's a YouTube thing. I can't do anything about it. I'm doing my best. Please, if there's like if you're watching this and you've had some issues like that, know that I'm hardwired in. I've got the most expensive internet possible. Uh, God, do I ever? And I'm doing the best that I can. So just bear with us. YouTube works it out, and really appreciate it. Anyway, uh, you guys are fantastic, and Dag man, super appreciate it. I'm Aaron. You know that now. I already said that. I'm babbling. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon here in the Call to Cinema. Remember Thursday. Be here for Thursday, because Thursday night we will be doing the countdown to the Vinegar Syndrome sale reveal. We will be there for that. And then afterwards, just before that reveal, I'll be going on to Patreon. So all my patrons there, all you Crimson Cult members there, or Crimson Cult members to be, we will be going in for the reveal. We'll be shopping together. We'll be talking about the films as they're revealed, giving our honest reactions on them, and looking through and seeing things as they disappear. It's an exciting night for movie collectors. It's our Super Bowl. It happens twice a year, halfway to Black Friday sale and the Black Friday sale. As Darren said right there, good night. God bless. Alan, you're the GOAT man. And I will see you guys soon right here in the Cult Cinema.